CHW Cabinetry. Again, Star and her folks, we talk about customer service. And look, at the end of the day, yes, CHW Cabinetry will give you these photorealistic renderings to see how your whole process is going for the cabinets you want in your home, wherever you want to put them. They do that. Do they make sure the work is top drawer, first rate, and to your specification? Yes, they do that. What they also do, and this is what sets them apart, is the customer service. From beginning to end, the hand holding that they will do with you to make sure you get what you want and you are, the customer, served to your satisfaction. Again, just give them a call. It's 803-520-6837. Just set up a meeting, sit on down, let them know what you're looking for, your budget, where the types of cabinetry. They'll show you a bunch of different ideas as well, and they'll make it work for you. 803-520-6837, CHW Cabinetry.
All right, welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you live. The grand opening today of the Exterior Design Center from U.S. Brick. Mikey Johnson and his team in the house, and some local VIPs like Josh Yellman stopping by.
I was going to say.
Carlton is here hanging out a little bit. More will be dropping by later. Come by and see us. Chance later on, not yet. Already had somebody come by, not yet. We'll give you an opportunity to win tickets to the Carolina-Oklahoma game. That's coming up shortly. Speaking of that game, it is always a pleasure to welcome back onto the program our good friend Lulu Keston. She is on the beat covering the Gamecocks for the Greenville News. Always good to have you. Thank you. We asked Cale Gundy, the former OU quarterback, just now, Lulu, how important this game was for Brent Venables and his team in the Final Six. Let me pose that same question. They're 5-1, OU. Carolina's 3-3. How big on a scale of 1 to 10 might this be for the Gamecocks in terms of must-win opportunity?
First of all, thanks for having me. I always love talking with you guys. Call me crazy, but I think I'd rate this about a 9. I think that this is the most winnable game in terms of SEC that's left on South Carolina's schedule. They desperately need a win. I think it could be a turning point in one direction or the other, and I think that it's a huge game for South Carolina.
To that point, we saw, we have obviously offensive line coach has been replaced. Bring in Sean Elliott, who's got experience at this. I mean, for you, just as you watch this go, what would be your, okay, that's back in the right direction, thoughts on the offensive line? Because we know they're not going to make all of a sudden the Joe Moore award-winning offensive line in 1 week. But what is your, bar of improvement for the O-line on Saturday?
My bar is probably the number of pre-snap false start penalties. I think that, like you mentioned, Sean Elliott's walking into a really difficult situation. Obviously, I wish I could snap my fingers and say we're all going to see better protection and Sellers isn't going to get sacked at the rate that he has been this season and last season. I think something that you can fix in a matter of days is penalties. And I think that maybe I don't want to put words in Shane's mouth, but he's been talking a lot about a new voice in that OL room. And I think that a new voice and maybe accountability and that all goes with the pre-snap penalties. And those are drive killers, momentum killers. Lenoris is trying to operate an offense that's been really inconsistent. And when his offensive line is drawing those penalties, it really just halts his ability to do that. So that's something that I'm kind of looking at. That's my bar. That's an area where I think you're allowed to hold this O-line and Elliott accountable, because I think it's a different thing in terms of how quickly it can be fixed.
Lulu, I'm not sure they ever mentioned the exact stat in the press conferences this week. I don't think I heard it when I was listening, but you've probably seen by now that the TeamWorks folks, the analytics folks, put out that Lenoris ran with the football, covered ground, 894 yards to gain 19. In other words, he ran about a half a mile to gain 1/1000th of a mile. It's almost unfathomable that that's what he was doing. I guess the question I have for you is, at least how much of that do they place upon offensive line protection relative to defenses, relative to offensive scheme? That's got to be something that changes for this ball club, but where do they see the biggest issue?
Mm-hmm. I think there is, Shane is valid for acknowledging and in defending his offensive line in the sense of those issues, and the one that you're bringing up isn't solely on the O-line. Everybody, Lenoris, as Shula said, sometimes he breaks away when he's not supposed to, but you get 30 yards out of it. And then sometimes there's games like LSU where he's not necessarily getting the same level of productivity. So I think that it's the offensive line for sure, in the sense that he is initially getting very little time to make whatever the play is. But it's everyone else where when he scrambles or when he takes off, is it the wide receivers and tight ends? Are they blocking? Is everybody doing their job when the play breaks down? And as Lenoris said, it's on him because he's the only one with the ball in those situations. I think overall, and this doesn't necessarily go to exactly your question, but, quarterbacks, you hear all the time, the most important stat is a win or a loss. And so, yes, you have to place some blame on Lenoris when things aren't going well on the offense in general, but it's difficult because at the end of the day, he's the only one with the ball in those moments, and he has to make a play. And like we saw, sometimes you throw it away and you get intentional grounding, and then that hurts you. It's difficult, but I think it's to Shane's point, it's everybody doing the little things that are going to make up for big results.
Hey, Lulu, a couple things we don't talk about. I'm just going to throw it at you to see if you have a thought on this. We talk about the offensive line and pass protection, and you just said, hey, it's not always the offensive line. We talk about Linares at times, holding the ball to make a play. How much when you hear and you're around the program, how much do you hear at all? And maybe you don't hear anything about maybe Linares and maybe difficulty reading the field and going through these progressions or difficulty in receivers consistently getting open? Or is it really those things are so much far ahead of the game right now because the basics aren't being done at the line of scrimmage or even with Linares?
I think I see it, and I think that's a great question because on some of those, Linares had some bad throws against LSU. The receivers didn't necessarily make every single catch. Everybody is kind of underperforming right now. And I think with Linares specifically, like Shane's never going to throw any of his players, position coaches, anyone under the bus. I think that what Shula was trying to address when he took over this job was he just wants to make sure before Linares takes off that his footwork is right and he's seeing options downfield. And when last year he was making those crazy plays, I think Shula was valid to point out that maybe Linares just missed somebody first, but the result paid off, so you kind of ignore it. And I think that that's sort of still coming together this year. Granted, I understand that the offense is just not performing at a great rate right now, and that kind of it's hard to look at. Okay, well, there's pockets of good stuff when the result overall is not great, but I do think that sometimes Linares is still learning to see the initial options downfield or receivers. There's just miscommunication, a lack of chemistry, and obviously that puts a lot of pressure on Linares in having a scramble. And then you kind of as coaches have pointed out, the offensive line gets blamed when things go bad, but they're not really recognized when things are going well.
Lulu Kesson with us from the Greenville News, Carolina, Oklahoma on Saturday. Help us read between the lines of Shane's long answer when asked about player usage and personnel. And I think the subtext there, of course, was where was Matthew Fuller after he had played so well? What more did you glean from what he said Tuesday?
Yeah, I think that it was definitely I think he made up and tried to explain sort of what people, I think, were drawing and jumping to conclusions from his initial comments on Saturday night. I would be shocked if Matthew Fuller wasn't heavily involved in what South Carolina is trying to do on offense on Saturday. And I think that Shane was admitting that he was a little surprised, or basically, surprised probably wrong word, but I think he was acknowledging that Matthew Fuller went too long without the ball, and especially after a touchdown when you have so much momentum, that can't happen.
Lulu, good stuff as always. We appreciate you. Enjoy the ball game Saturday. We'll holler at you soon.
Thanks, Lulu.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
You bet.
too.
That is Lulu Kesson. You can catch her work at the Greenville News. Lulu Kesson, LULUKESSIN. Good stuff.
Look at you.
She's sharp.
Showing off with your spelling skills.
Thank you. I do what I can.
There you go.
But that was yeah, I think in the flow, I think Shane was saying again, reading between the lines. Sometimes you just don't quite realize, like, hey, wait, where's that guy? Mm-hmm. And I don't think the communication issue will be the same this weekend.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think that's one of those.
I think that gets nipped.
That gets addressed. All right, lots more to do. Once again, we are at the brand new grand opening, we should say, too. I mean, it is brand new. The Exterior Design Center, 300 UG Street. We're going to tell you more about what's going on here. You can win some tickets to Carolina, Oklahoma. They got a lot of other fun stuff going on. You need to come be a part of it. An official ribbon cutting coming shortly as well. Jay and Terry at US Brick on UG. It's the postgame show. All right, 11 minutes in front of 4 o'clock here on this Thursday afternoon. This Brick Exterior Design Center is the first of its kind in the capital city. All kinds of cool stuff in here. Had a chance to look around, got a tour from the man in charge himself, Mikey Johnson. He'll join us a little bit later on. But I mean, so much you can see exactly where your brick is manufactured. Most of it here in the Midlands, but they've got plants in Tennessee, Indiana, Alabama, and depending on the look, the feel of what you want, whether it's for your house, whether it's for a fire feature, whether it's for a wall, anything. They've got some amazing stuff here, brick, stone, and a really, really cool way to just, again, see it, touch it, feel it, know what it's all about. And they got great people here. Mikey and his team are fantastic at what they do. You could build a vault with brick.
A vault.
We could. I don't know what's in your vault today and how easy it might be to break into.
Before we get to your vault, this has been like a crazy hour with Kale and with Lulu.
Well, it's not my vault; it's your vault.
Well, my vault is. I'm going to open my vault. But first, why don't you open up your start bench drop?
Yeah, start bench drop today. We did this earlier in the week for the Penn State gig, and I'm being careful here because today's start bench drop is more hypothetical. The Penn State job is vacant. What I'm going to ask you about today is not, but there is certainly a belief that by Sunday it may be open, and that's the Florida job. Multiple reports suggest that the Florida job will be open. So, without trying to wish anyone's jobs away from them, start bench drop these leading candidates for the Florida job.
Okay.
All right. Now there's several. I got 3.
All righty.
Alphabetical order.
Do it.
Eli Drinkwitz, head coach of Missouri. Alex Golich, head coach, South Florida.
Outside the box. I like it.
Or Lane Kiffin, head coach at Mississippi. Now, there are others that will be interested.
Absolutely.
Should the Florida job come open. Alex Golich, yeah, it is. I guess that is a little outside the box, but the thing is, A, Florida, B, Alex has his coaching experience in the Southeastern Conference, so he knows what's up.
OC at Tennessee.
But maybe Florida. I don't think Florida wants to go that route again.
Right.
In terms of like up and comer, but maybe he's a little bit of a different up and comer. I don't know. I'm just throwing that one out there.
And what state is South Florida in?
It's in Florida, but it's not in South Florida. That's the irony.
I know.
It's in West Central Florida.
I know, which is really funny.
Yeah,
the thing about it is the job he's done there though is impressive.
Yeah.
And not only does he know the SEC, he knows he's got how the recruiting goes in the SEC, and he's recruiting in Florida.
Yeah.
And he's already laid a base in Florida.
Yeah.
So he's a nice outside the box thought, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
He really is.
But anyway, so start bench drop, Eli Drinkwitz, Alex Golich, Lane Kiffin for the potential opening in game.
I like it. Now, are you ready for a little vault
I
action,
am.
sir? Sponsored by our buddies at Purple Wave. All right, 1987. Mike Tyson retains his undisputed heavyweight title with a 7th-round knockout of Terrell Biggs in Atlantic City. This is the Customato killer, Mike Tyson.
Right.
This was the guy, Michael Spinks, when the bell rang, Michael Spinks hid in the corner in fear, and they said, Mike, you got to fight him. Come on, Michael. It's a shame we will never know if Customato doesn't pass on how great Mike Tyson could have been.
Sure.
It's a shame.
That's a fair question. The Spinks fight was what, the next summer?
Yes.
Right.
And Spinks wanted no heat
90
there.
seconds.
Yeah, he wanted no part of that
90
thing.
seconds.
That was, I have never, look, I used to love boxing. I used to be really into boxing. I don't remember seeing an opponent with so much fear than Michael Spinks that night to go fight Mike Tyson in 1988, I think it was.
Do we know, we can adjust for inflation, of course, but do we know what Spinks got paid for that fight?
Not enough for the hospital bill.
Well, you get insurance.
I forget how much he got for that fight.
I'd like to look that up again and then adjust for inflation.
I'll look it up.
Yeah.
And I got another one for you. I know you love soccer. Okay. 2004, some 17-year-old punk named Lionel Messi made his debut for FC Barcelona.
Yeah.
How did he turn out? How'd he go?
He's still one of the 5 best players on the planet, man. Yeah, that's when he made his Barca senior debut. Yeah, I think he had
17.
joined them when he was 12, 13. The thing is, he could have been eligible. He lived in Spain so long as a youth that he would have been eligible to play for Spain. And they
Really?
recruited the heck out of him, but he was like, no.
Ah,
I'm from Argentina, but I appreciate you asking. Yeah, he's if I had to pick over Ronaldo,
mhm.
Cristiano Ronaldo, I'm picking Messi, no doubt, no doubt. All right, lots more to do from US Brick. We'll tell you more about it coming up here on the postgame show. Integrated Media is ready to help you watch everything that you watch better than ever, listen to it better than ever, or stream it into your home better than ever. How do they do that? Well, first off, they install amazing televisions from Sony and Samsung, the latest in HD technology, OLED, all kinds of things you might want out there. Now the HD picture is so much better, which is kind of hard to believe. Amazing Dolby Atmos sound, whether they install speakers in the wall, in the ceiling, or you choose Sonos wireless speakers, which also sound fantastic. Pick them up, move them where you want to down the house. That's your jam. You can do it. See what I did there? Thank you very
I
much.
like that.
Outdoors, they've got amazing Samsung Terrace TVs, the Sonos outdoor speakers, around you can rock the neighborhood, and everybody's going to love you for it, right? You know they will. This great Wi-Fi, 803-948-8327. Do it all better with integrated media. 4 o'clock on this Thursday. Welcome back in. Second hour of the post-game show coming at you, not from the Herndon Chevy. Make sure we know what we're doing. And he's succeeding. We'll be the ones that fail.
Well, we need somebody. We need some grown up to take care of this.
We
thing.
are at the brand new US Brick Exterior Design Center. Big crowd coming around, and a little bit later on this hour, I will give you. Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to have a trivia question. You have to come here to win. We have a pair of tickets for Saturday afternoon's game, Carolina and Oklahoma. You have to come here. You can't. Again, Ed would love to speak with you about
I love
a
people.
numerous amount of things. Yeah, pretty much anything. Weather, music,
Ed knows everything. He was talking about Tab.
tab.
He's like, I mean,
Now, is that the soft drink? I
I was thinking, yeah,
Okay.
B. I was going B.
All right,
The
sure.
pole by you, sir.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah.
Very nice.
Well, they're really good. But anyway, we will throw out, or we'll have a trivia question. I don't know if we'll throw it out or not. I'll tell you what, I will.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw out a trivia question.
4-5.
And it'll be a first come, first serve here.
Come see us.
300 UT Street. We're right before the train track where UG ends and turns into Whaley.
And if you don't believe us, you can hit the train a little louder.
You will hear the train again soon.
Can't wait.
I promise you.
Oh,
Cale Gundy
Yeah,
was probably like,
full effect.
I thought they were in a big city.
What the hell are they doing by a train track?
Yeah. But if you are in this area, then you know how it works. By the way, we just used the handy inflation calculator for those of you who heard us talking about Michael Spinks in 1988 when he got beat by Mike Tyson. He made $22 million in 1987.
Michael Spinks made 13.5. Tyson made 22.
Okay,
which was a
okay.
record.
I'm sorry. Tyson made. All right, Tyson got 62 million. Right, well, that means would you say
Today's
35?
money. In today's money, Tyson got 62 million, and Michael Spinks got 35 million. in today's
35
money.
million to get beat up by Mike Tyson for 90 seconds.
That was such a.
Would you seriously? Would you? I mean, I am being serious.
All right, I'll give you a serious answer.
Would
Yes.
you take
Yes.
35 million?
Yes. For Mike Tyson to punch me repeatedly for 90 seconds? Yes. Yes, I would.
The thing is, would we have to at least like have it for guys your size and my size, like have Sugar Ray hit us for 90 seconds?
Sugar Ray Leonard?
Yeah.
That might be
Because
better.
at least he's our weight.
Yeah, maybe a Sugar Ray Leonard.
Like,
would
I
make
think Mike
sense.
Tyson might kill us, man.
Absolutely.
Can I put
My
on the
God.
headgear? The Spinks didn't get to wear the
Well, that's
headgear.
because he's a professional
Well,
boxer.
I
You and I
understand.
are. Nothing should wear headgear.
I mean, I know that it's real easy to say, would you take 35 million?
And I would.
But if I'm going to
Mhm.
never be the
But
same
here's
again,
the flip side.
I'm not sure I'm enjoying
You
the
and I.
35
Okay,
mil.
Michael Spinks got hit more than once, right?
Yeah. But he also danced around. He
He
just
tried. God love him. He
Yeah.
tried. He would.
But then but then Tyson caught him clean that one, and then he was down.
Tyson could have jumped out of the ring and ran to the parking lot.
He would have.
Okay, so Tyson is hitting Spinks multiple times before Spinks drops, right?
Yeah.
Tyson would hit you and I once.
Yeah.
And that would be the end of it.
Yeah. Now, if
So we wouldn't take a massive pummeling. And don't get me wrong. They might have to go, oh, that's a piece of his brain over
Dude,
there.
yeah,
Oh, that's a
I
piece of
don't-
his
I
brain
just-
over
I
there.
know it sounds crazy. So I don't know how many of them, but if you really stop and think about it, like, I don't know, especially like in 1988, that
Mhm.
summer, I was 5'10", maybe mid 150s.
Yeah, I was about 6'1", around 155.
Tyson, one shot to the head, Terry. I might be dead. I don't know
Oh, he
if that's.
You don't know
too
when you got a
worth it.
220-pound wrecking ball.
Yeah, but I mean,
of
but
meanness
the
and nasty.
you know, like in physics, there's torque. I don't know
Uh-huh.
what the how do you measure like Tyson's anger torque
We need that
or
sports science
whatever
thing,
that is.
yeah.
You know, like here's how Mike Tyson adjusts his fury for punching. You know, I don't know if I
I
want.
think his torque was high level.
You know,
at the
and
time.
I'm not sure that's torque.
Oh, it is. You're,
You know,
you're
there is some
rotating.
torque in there.
A lot of your punching power comes from the lower part
Yeah.
of your body, so
But-
there is torque.
But
involved, yeah.
when you add Mike Tyson's just like fury into the whole thing, oh look who came out! There's the
There,
Godfather
there's
himself
the man.
with some pies. We'll get him in here in a second too. Yeah, I don't know. I know it sounds crazy. Like, hey, you wouldn't
Okay.
take $35 billion.
This
for that?
covered, We're having this conversation. Let's lay it out, Ray. Flat on, ready? Here it is.
Yeah.
You go in the ring wearing what you're wearing today, your button-down shirt and your jeans,
Yeah.
with no headgear,
Yes.
in the ring with Mike Tyson
Yes.
for one round, if you can make it that far, for $35 million.
I mean, I would do.
I'm in.
I would do
I'm
everything I could to run around.
Oh, yeah, I'm in. I'm in. I mean,
I'd be
well,
scared.
you know,
God.
you know, there would be very few. I'm not one of those people who get scared of a lot of things, but I'm not going to lie to you. That would be the longest 3 minutes of my life if I could make it that far.
That would be frightening.
Yeah.
I guess when you say it like that, if I could just run around as best I could.
Uh-huh. Remember how Sugar Ray Leonard and Muhammad Ali danced in their prime?
Yeah.
You try to dance as much as you can. Eventually, he's going to corner you and knock the snot and God knows what else out of your
Then
head.
I can't enjoy my 35 mil.
We're be sucking steak out of a straw.
I don't want to do that,
Just
man. I
just
don't
being
want
on
to do that.
being on a fluid diet the rest of your life.
I'd rather quit and take like 350 grand and say, well, that was fun. And just go like, whoa.
Oh, because let's be real.
It's like not price right. Let's make a deal. Right? Like you could see what's behind it. That might be a bigger prize, but if you just take this
consolation walk-away prize,
yeah.
and you would take the consolation.
I'll just be like, you know what?
I'm gonna go in the ring for the $35 million.
What if there's like an angry Wolverine behind the curtain?
Well, you is called Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I know. I don't
boxing
think
gloves.
I want that.
Because here's the other thing, Reddy. You and I both know we're not lasting 30 seconds in that ring. Spinks made it 90 seconds.
Yes, because he's also a large.
Because he's
man.
a bigger man who's a trained boxer,
Yes.
won an Olympic gold medal, and
Yes.
won the light heavyweight championship.
Yes.
This is a skilled man who just knew he was about to almost die, right?
But
You
for
and
16,
I,
but he did like
for
you paid me
$13.5 million, you got to get in there and fight him. So, for 32, you and I will last less than 30 seconds.
Right.
And I will take the chance of the permanent damage to my brain. So I'm not that smart anyway. So I'll take I will go in for the $45 million for the risk of the permanent damage to my
and
body.
again, in today's dollars, he got
$35
$35 million for Mike Tyson to beat him up.
$13.5 million in 1988, $35 million in today's dollars. I'll take the whooping. I'll take the
I
whooping.
guess you kind of have to.
Yes.
But man,
Ready. Here's the thing. This is for fun. So your family's with you, and they're consulting with you on this. Would they say, I'll say about my family, no, Dad, because you could be paralyzed or brain. We want our dad more people to do this. Dad, get the ring. That's $35 million. My kids would throw me in the ring, by the way.
Yeah.
My kids would, we love you, Dad. Get the ring.
They would beat you up.
Yeah.
What happened to that guy? Yeah, it's gotta be.
Your family would pummel you.
I don't. Yeah,
It's a very interesting question.
when you stop and really it's easy. On the one hand, it's just super easy. Sure, I'll take that money to spend 3 minutes in the ring or a 90 seconds.
Here's one thing. That's why you don't think about it. You just jump in.
Yeah.
Because the minute you start thinking about it, you start thinking of the pain and suffering you might go through, even with that one punch. And then you start to get that second guess going. You just get right in. I know a dude who jumped. He wouldn't
Well,
think. I know a dude who would jump in the ring with Tyson and an angry rabid Wolverine just for the hell of it. He would have to pay him. Brian Glenn.
Have you heard our conversation?
A little bit.
So okay, we were just talking about
Thanks for the pie.
Tyson on this date in '87 beat who?
Tyson '87 beat Terrell Biggs in Atlantic City.
Right. But I was asking Terry. It was the following summer because I remember I was working at the beach the following summer, and my buddy that lived with me. We were glad we didn't get the pay-per-view because it only lasted. We had to work.
Yeah.
So we were like, hey, let's go to the Tyson thing. They had it at Coastal.
Okay.
On paper or on closed circuit. We were glad we did because it lasted 90 seconds.
Right.
But then I was like, what did Spinks get for that fight? And in today's dollars, Spinks got $35 million for Mike Tyson to beat him up in 90 seconds. The question was, would you take that knowing Mike Tyson was going to beat you?
I would take that for half that amount. I'll take the $1987 and take the beat.
You got $16 million.
I don't think I'd stand up for 90 seconds. It'd be like, whenever you hit me,
that first shot.
down.
Yeah, that first shot.
Like,
hey, 3 days when you wake up, look how much money you have, Brian.
as long as the body's not your broken ribs don't puncture your spleen or liver or whatever.
or your again the head damage. You're your nose is not where it's supposed to
Listen,
be.
I'm already dealing with the head damage, so it's like there's only so like
I
once
said-
you get into that area, it's the damage
Right.
is
I'm
done.
not that smart to begin with. So what am I losing?
Right. I mean, my head's been beat the heck out of, you know.
I guess you got to do it.
But to the
Yeah,
point,
I
though,
guess
is
you
this.
got. I guess you got.
I think
to.
Brian
have to.
makes a good point. Well, if you're thinking at all, just cover up your face
Yep.
and let him know they nail you in the ribs or the gut. And yeah, the internal injuries might go for a while,
Yeah.
but the moneymaker is not busted, right?
You cover your head. You
Cover
let
it
them.
up.
The
Almost
ribs
rope
are
it, though.
broken.
Uh-huh.
Possible lacerated liver, ruptured something. You know, but you're close to the hospital. They get in there. The internist, you know, they put some patches on your
Mhm.
organs and the ribs heal, and
Yeah,
cash your check.
how much of that check did I just spend on the specialists to
Right.
put me back
I'll
together?
go $87 dollar value plus medical bill.
Right. Here's the other part of it, though. You cover up the face. You hope he hits you like in the ribs, and please God, don't let it be a low ball.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
Well, I mean, I'm Irish, so the target's not big. I mean, is that
This is on.
we mean knees. I'm talking about hitting in the knees.
Oh, yeah, the
Knees are-
knees.
You have
I got
small knees.
Everyone knows
I've
that
always,
Irishmen have
you and
small
I
knees.
always joke about how small your Irish knees
They
are. Brian.
are. That's how it's because you have to get down there and take those potatoes out.
All right. What kind of pieces did you bring us?
I got a variety. Brought you some plain
Oh,
cheese.
okay.
With the pepperoni sauce, banana peppers.
Beautiful.
I can never remember exactly what you get on yours.
That's right.
And did a one with the meats on it. Then did our monthly feature, which is the Frito pie.
Oh,
Yeah, it's got
I will be
chili,
going right to the
cheddar,
food.
and
All
all
right.
that.
Phenomenal.
Fritos.
Well, we appreciate you doing it.
Always appreciate you. Thank you, like always,
That's
dude.
good. Family's doing well.
Everybody
Family's
good?
doing well. I gotta get a hold of Hunter or Gunther. I lost that to him. I gotta go into the
Oh, I
studio
heard of
where
this. By the way, he talks about it every day.
I know.
Why did you bet? Why did you bet with Bill?
He's not
Because
even a
I
Yankee
had
fan. He's not even a Yankee
that
fan.
day. Listen, that day I had a little surgery thing. I was hopped up on painkillers. I was like, no. And then the one game one, I was like, oh, roll this. And then
He's not even- he's trying to claim them from some brief period of living in New York. I'm like, dude, you're a Braves
I lived in New York the first 19 years of my life.
Yeah,
and I
he-
hate them.
He's not a.
Wait. I've known Bill for 4 years. Where did Bill live in New York?
I think when he's a kid,
For what, a minute?
Yeah,
Hour,
something
45 minutes to a station for like a stopover?
he was a newsie.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Newsy.
Right before they cooked it.
Get your paper here.
Yeah, right.
Before they cooked that up.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, good stuff.
All
Appreciate
right.
you.
Appreciate you, my man.
And of course, 5 points and right around the corner. Mills Empty baseball season.
Thanks. Come in and say, I'm looking for Brian Glenn with the small knees.
It's a cool setup they got over here.
Yeah, man.
Very nice.
I watched them putting this together coming to work every day.
Nice to be neighbors.
Very cool.
It stinks if you get good weather for
Yeah, it's
so
Yeah, perfect.
This is I call this Chamber of Commerce Day.
this is what it is.
All right, lots
All right.
more to do, and we'll get Brian to do our start bench drop.
Yeah, I love you.
And again, keep listening. I will throw out a trivia question shortly. And once I throw it out, if you're the first one to come answer it, live here, 300 UG Street, we'll get you a pair of tickets to Carolina and Oklahoma on
There we go.
Saturday. All right,
Sounds like a plan.
lots more to do here from US Brick on UG. It's the postgame. Guys not feeling like yourself as you're getting older, you're wondering why, or worse yet, you're being kind of stubborn about it, waiting for it to go away. Don't be that guy. See Dr. Dan Faulknight and his team at the men's clinic. Bedroom, boardroom, weight room, game room, meeting room, whatever room. If it's not working for you the way it used to, if you're not feeling the way you chances are pretty good that it's just because you're getting older and that's what happens. But they can get you back to feeling the way you want to. They get to talk with you about what your life is like every day. Where are those gaps? And then they begin to prescribe a treatment that's just right for you. No magic tools, no it's all. These are medical experts. All right. They know what they're doing. They've been doing it for a long, long time. They're dedicated to making you feel like yourself. 803 MENS as we're live. 803 873. 19 minutes after 4 o'clock here on this Thursday. Welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you from US Bricks, brand new design center. And they got a nice spread in there with some pizza, some other foods. Come say hey, enjoy their grand opening, official ribbon cutting here shortly. They were going to let Terry use the oversized but then they learned about the neighborhood he grew up in, and they decided it was a bad idea.
You know, by law, I'm not allowed to hold.
Well, that's how
The court documents we can't.
I try to be nice about that. Too, but
Yeah.
if you're gonna some champagne over there for the
No.
ghost,
Here's my one question. Now, if Brian brought
Uh-huh.
he should have taken inside
uh-huh.
high out here.
Well, you can just go and get some. They're not gonna they don't bite it. You know, they're there, man. You'll be all right.
Legal thing.
Another one of those.
Another legal thing.
See if somebody can't help you out.
Somebody can help me bring me a slice of something.
My
Did you see my big?
my good friend and very smart texted me about ring with Mike Tyson. Said one of your daughters would choose to save you in the boxing scene. It would be my oldest. I want to believe that. I want to believe.
I'm thinking like let's.
I think he's right. My oldest would be the one. Dad. It's not that she'd be like, "Are you really even?" And the other three would be like, yeah. My number 3 daughter would be like, "Dad, how are you not?"
Yeah, what is wrong with you? You're thinking about this. I'll think
And
about
then
like
number 2 is going like, "Power of attorney."
I've been looking at my dad. We never drove another fork again. Get the hell in the ring, Dad. What are we doing here?
So anyway, thank you, George. I'm telling you, that's a good idea. I know.
I'm like Glenn.
It's
I'm
not a
in.
good idea, but
No,
it's
it's
an idea.
It's a lucrative proposal.
So earlier, we talked about some Gamecock stuff. We got plenty to get to from the coordinators, but earlier we mentioned that our buddy Seth Emerson is predicting that he of the Athletic that there will be 6 coaching changes in the Southeastern Conference. Again, it's his prediction, kind of funny, wacky midseason prediction. And that there'll be 4 firings and 2 departures. So the most logical ones are, again, one is already there, Arkansas. The other vacancies would likely be Florida, Kentucky, and Auburn. With the departures, most likely with Oklahoma being an outlier.
Yes.
And then the departures, Lane Kiffin and Eli Drinkwitz with an outside shot at Shane Beamer. Now that was you and me.
Mm-hmm.
Seth didn't give any names or schools.
No.
So then it came to the Florida game. And there's a belief that Lane Kiffin is the number 1 guy. I get it. I've been saying that for years. I used to joke, Terry, and I would say, when mentioning him, even when he was at Ole Miss, future Florida coach Lane Kiffin, right? Instead of Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin, like future Florida coach Lane Kiffin. But then I asked, which of those guys has the bigger ego, Drinkwitz or Kiffin?
Right.
Because I think that's going to. It isn't the money. I mean, listen, they're both making 9, 10.
They're both making $9 million.
And look, is 12 million more than 9? Yes. But is that, to the point you made, that isn't going to be what makes you go take that job?
No, not at all.
You're going to be the one who says, I can do what only Steve Spurrier and Urban have done. I'll be the next guy. Nobody else before me, between Urban and can do it. Right. In fact, most of them failed miserably in a relative
sense compared to what they're looking for.
Yeah, Florida has an expectation of that, and I totally get that. So
you and I first saw Kiffin, right? And first thing we said, you and I were like, everybody believes it's Kiffin automatically, right? He's been around for a long time. Saw him at Tennessee. Remember the ego, the young Kiffin in Tennessee, the ego he had in the NFL Raiders, the ego going to Bama, some of the stuff with Nick at Bama. A funny thing happened to Lane Kiffin after he left Alabama. The only sniff of kind of ego in social media. Right?
Yeah.
Here's my thing.
But I'm the ego as much
I think
as
he's having fun. He's comfortable in that space.
Yeah. He's a smart ass.
You and I totally support. I don't think he's as big an ego as Drinkwitz. I'm watching Eli the last couple of years and the way he carries himself and some of the comments, and he's got some snark too. I think Eli has more of an ego than Kiffin.
And does that, and then it's subjective, of course, does that end up making him a better candidate?
I think, I really believe this. I don't think Kiffin leaves off. I think he's got a great gig. They love him. Last year, they quote unquote underachieved because they didn't make the college football playoff. They were set to do it. He got no heat in Oxford. They love him.
Right.
They won double-digit games last year. He has been. I forget the guy, the Ole Miss coach in the late 60s and early 60s.
Coach
And-
Ball.
Yes, the guy who was the king. No one's been successful to Lane's level since him. Lane is fine. He's a great living. He's the king of Oxford. I don't think he's going to leave. I think his agent will keep him in the mix to get more money. But I think Drinkwitz, because of the heat, I think would jump to go to Florida before Lane jumps to go to Florida. That's just me.
And are those the top two candidates?
I think so. Give me the third. Give me the third.
Well, again, I
one.
have Golish
You
on
have
today's
Golish.
start bench drop. I got Drinkwitz, Golish, Kiffin.
I love how you did put him really cool outside. He's going to be a power game next year. He'll be coaching
Yeah.
in the power game. I think those two are the top two guys. They have to tell Florida
You got to
no
say no.
before they move on.
Yeah. They're going to say no. That's fair.
And here's the difference, too. Like, no offense. It's kind of a weird, clunky fit in the SEC anyway, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of it's just, I mean, Eli's done a fine job. Pink made 2 SEC championships from Missouri. But, Florida is hard, right? And if you're Drinkwitz, you're sitting there going, what I've done here at Missouri, think about what I can do if I go to Florida with all those resources, recruiting that state, being able to walk around with Florida players or on conference. I think that's more of a pull to Eli. Remember, Lane was at Tennessee. Lane was at Southern Cal. Lane coached in the NFL. Does Lane, you know what I mean? Lane doesn't need all. He's already been through a lot of the ego stuff. Eli hasn't. So think about that. Eli hasn't hit the big stage. Lane's been on it.
Yep.
That's why I think Lane's okay. That's why I think it would be drink.
I kind of think so too, man. And again, as much as we say, I'll put it that way about Drinkwitz.
He's got a
He's a great coach.
I tell you,
He's a great
he is an excellent. What he has done in Missouri, in this world of college football, has been phenomenal. It really has been. And if you ask me, do I think Drinkwitz go to Florida and be successful? I think he has a really good chance because of the ego that he carries and the belief in himself and that spark.
Right.
I think he can walk in there again. What do we always say about the kitchen of Florida? What's it full of?
Cooks.
A lot of cooks.
Yeah.
I think Eli will walk in with that spark, with that ego, and get them all out.
It's also the good news is also a kitchen filled with a lot of good ingredients.
Great ingredients, great appliances.
Yeah.
It's like being over at Krager showrooms.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
so at the end of the day, I think Eli would be the guy out of the two. I think Lane coaches Southern Cal, coaches the NFL. I was in the SEC at Tennessee. 100,000 people at Neyland. I'm good in Oxford, man. I make a really good living. They love me, and there is no hot seat anywhere for like in Oxford. Just saying.
They're about to have the ribbon cutting. I see young Causey Mikey's son with the oversized novelty shears.
Does he have the oversized? Yeah, they won't let me touch.
To,
They won't let me near him.
Yeah.
Okay, for one time, I accidentally cut off someone's appendage. It was an accident. I sneezed. I had him and I sneezed.
I do want to use those for something though. I'm not gonna lie.
Something silly too.
They are-
Something like
They are
just
kind of
something-
fun.
They look cool.
All right.
Too bad I can't touch them.
All right, we'll come back. We got some Gamecock sound to get to you from the coordinators, and I'll throw out that trivia for Carolina, Oklahoma. You're listening to the game show live for US Brick. All right, it's now upon us, the end of year sale at Griffin Pools and Spas today through the 9th. We'll have 3 reps on site. It was a great chance for you to literally save thousands of dollars on a brand new in-ground pool. Big savings on spas and hot tubs as well. You know, when it comes to the pool, you say, I don't want to build a pool right now. Hey, get ahead of the spring rush. You got that thing ready to go, and you've had it the whole time. Plus, you can begin to, do all around it. And let's face it, in this part of the world, you might even get a chance to jump in. And if you're one of those polar bear types, go ahead, right? What's stopping you? But stop in and see. They've got all kinds of great specials going on. And so many different accessories to make life around that pool or hot tub a whole lot more fun. Steps away from the Lake Erie Dam, and you can learn more right now by logging on to griffinpools.com.
All right, we have got a few accidents so far. Farrow Road near I-77. Also, Gardner's Ferry Road near Fort Jackson Boulevard. And Bernardino Road, Sunset Boulevard at I-20.
We are indeed built by U.S. Brick, and we are at U.S. Brick's new design center on UG Street, and they are now Young Johnson has done cutting with the oversized novelty shears. Columbia City Councilman Peter Brown is here with a big welcome message. So great time come out and say, hey, you come here and do this too. Here's our trivia question. First person to come see us under the tent, you can't miss us. I promise you can't miss it. First person to come see us under the tent. What was the score of the first ever game between South Carolina and Oklahoma in college football? What was the score of the first ever game between South Carolina and Oklahoma?
Nice.
Come tell us the score of that game. And if you want to tell us what it was, all that kind of stuff, who did what, that's great.
That's fine.
That's great. What was the score of the first ever South Carolina Oklahoma
Excellent.
college football game?
Excellent.
Come see us. You have to do that in person. Don't call.
Can't call.
Don't text. Again, you can't call and text about things. But if
Not
you're
this.
giving an answer to that, you want to come see us. While you're here, you can see what's going on at the design center, have a slice, or some of the other things that are going on. They've got a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
And we're trying to spot the stone in the fireplace, the outdoor fireplace. By the way, I've an outdoor fireplace now. Look at that thing.
Massively.
That is awesome.
How awesome would we just hang it outside?
Yeah, I mean, I like
outdoor fireplace.
I wonder if Mikey will come.
You know what he should do? Here's what we should do.
So you're gonna say
Yes. And then we can sit and you love it so much, it'll be perfect for you.
sure.
So what we can do is talk to Mikey, maybe in exchange for the fireplace.
Huh?
You can do live endorsement reads for the rest of the year.
For the rest of my career. We have that.
Well, I believe we have a winner, sir.
All right, good. Sit tight. Sit tight. We have somebody who's at least first in line, so that's good. All right, Ed Bird on the cut list, please, sir. Mike Shula. Cut number, where was I, Ed? I'm sorry. Cut number 4 from Mike Shula. This is Coach asking what impact the coaching changes this week will have on the Gamecock offense.
Well, yeah, it's personally it's heartbreaking, and we don't feel, we don't have to take ownership, and but, I mean, as far as the pressure, no, there's, whatever you want to use the word for pressure, every week it's the same. You have to get yourself ready to play, and the good teams that you're playing, regardless of where you're playing, when you're playing. If you don't feel that way each and every week, you kind of missing the boat. You have to prepare like this week is the next game and the only game. And if you call it pressure or call it excitement, if you call it fun, it's all of the above those things. But you have to be so dialed in where you can't let, if you're worried about other things outside other than like what you're supposed to be dialed in on games over on Sunday, on Monday, on Tuesday, then you're really kind of cheating yourself and the guys around you. You got to be. We have a certain schedule each and every week that with some flexibility based on when we play games. There's so much work to be done, and to get yourself ready as a coach and to get your players ready to go perform best. So it's a test, and it's easy to do when you're winning, but you got to be locked in and know that you got a bunch of guys around you that are doing this. We have that here. We have that atmosphere here with our coaches and our players and guys. They continue to be dialed in, and players do everything we ask them to do. They practice hard. They have fun out there. They're frustrated because we haven't won. They're playing and practicing with a lot of confidence, believing, and that's what you have to do. You have to instill that in yourself and the players around you, and you ask them to do that amongst themselves. That's going to be the best chance to go play with confidence, be upset, okay? Don't be satisfied by any means for where we're at, but also know that we're not that far off and believe that and just dig down a little bit deeper.
We're not that far off, dig down a little bit deeper, and we come back around now to having more time to process it. Yesterday, David Cloninger, today, Lulu Pearson, both echoing the same kind of theme on the most immediate need for change, and that is you got to stop those pre-snap penalties. You got to stop the procedural stuff. And I as I understand it, that's where Sean's head is too, in terms of, hey, let's start with the most controllable. There are certain things the defense may do. Right. You don't know that yet, but as you keep saying, we're supposed to go on 3. Let's go on 3
together,
right? So I know some people may not agree, and as I've said earlier, Harry, I'm not here to go, hey, don't worry about it. but I don't think this team is that far off. Again, the last 2 road losses, with half of the fourth quarter left, you're in a 1-score game with the ball. You have more chances to impact these games. You're not getting beat by 30, 40, or anything like that. You're there, but you got to do your part.
Well, to your point, stop stabbing yourself.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Don't take the big scissors and cut your own fingers off with the oversized scissors, right? On Saturday.
Or even those little kitty scissors.
Remember those
What, the
school
round
scissors?
ones? Like, those are still cook things.
You take the paste off the one and you always have that kid in your class.
I mean,
Were you that?
what's wrong with paste?
Here's my thing.
All natural ingredients.
Barring something South Carolina hasn't done all year, which is throwing the ball over, they've been really good at not giving the other team the ball. Barring that, this should be a one-score game. Oklahoma's offense, they can't run the ball. They have not averaged over 3.5 yards a game against a real opponent all year on the ground. They've really struggled to scuffle against Auburn, Michigan, and Texas. 3 top 10 defenses by defensive efficiency. South Carolina's 19th in the country in defensive efficiency. South Carolina's got a good defense.
They do. Yeah.
I don't think Oklahoma will be able to run the ball in South Carolina. If John Mateer's not 100%, they will struggle. If Mateer's 100%, still haven't scored.
They can still struggle because Cale Gundy told us they still have issues.
They haven't scored 4
Right.
points a game
Right.
against any Auburn or Texas. It's
Right.
the real teams they play. There's the only real teams they play, by the way, so far this year. So that offense still is not explosive materials, right? You're going to be in this game. To your point, if you can clean up the nonsense, that's number one, because you got to clean up the nonsense. And then guess what? You might find a way to fall yourself into a W in a one-score game if you quit inflicting wounds upon
I know
yourself.
you're about to say.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where you're at in this game.
Yeah.
You're going to have a chance. You just have to quit hurting yourself.
Let's congratulate Russell, who just came by. And Russell knows that the score of the first ever game between South Carolina and Oklahoma in college football is 35-9.
How about that?
1 year ago.
How fun.
Way to go, Russell. Yeah, isn't that
Give you a little trick question there. Look
So,
at
well, I know.
yeah.
Trick. Yeah, a little bit. What I should have done maybe is say when was the first game played. That would have been tricky.
Yeah, that'd have been tricky.
That would have been tricky.
That'd have been tricky.
But yes,
So you're
last
saying
year,
South Carolina, their history is undefeated.
this
against
will be the
Oklahoma.
first. Yes, this is now the first time that Oklahoma comes to Williams.
You know, we didn't talk about that enough this week because all these other things. How cool is it that the Oklahoma Sooners are going to roll up at Williams?
Well, I mean, because in my lifetime, man, I've seen Southern California, Michigan, Nebraska, Miami, obviously Georgia, and but those kind of, I mean, Notre Dame's been here. I mean, listen, there's when Southern Cal came, Carolina had gone out to Southern Cal the year George won the Heisman. And they didn't win that game, but it was fun. But Carolina expanded the East up in between when George won the Heisman and when Southern Cal came. So they knew. And even though it was perfectly engineered and built or whatever, it's free. And so there was if you could go back and stabilize it a little bit more, because I could imagine that would freak. But there was a bumper sticker that was famous for a couple of years. It ain't swaying. We ain't swaying.
Oh,
And
that's
people
cool.
love that. But now, Michigan, I get Notre Dame, the Nebraska game. Oh man, that was
So we'll be here in a few years.
Texas,
here
Carolina has
before?
played.
Yeah. What here?
Maybe like in the 50s.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
way back. Yeah, I don't remember that one. I don't. But I know we've beaten Texas way back. But I don't know if that was here or. I have to look
we'll
that
have
up.
to look that
I'll
one
have
up.
to look that
All
up.
right.
All right, we'll come back. I have breaking news.
Cool.
It is big,
All right.
and we're going to strike the name off the coaching board.
All right.
Oh no, we're
Oh, we
striking,
are.
we're striking
All right.
a name.
I'm not going to look this
Off
up. I
the-
want to be
please don't.
surprised by you, sir.
Yeah, all right.
Let's do this
we'll,
thing.
We'll do it. Post game show returns to you. All right, we'll get into a little J or nay in just a second. But as I said, I have breaking news, and this will be reiterated in the 5 o'clock headlines in a few minutes' time. But announced this time is 4:05 p.m.
Hit me.
University of Indiana has reached a new 8-year contract with Curt Cignetti. It will pay him an average salary of $11.6 million per year.
That puts him where he's in the pecking order in the country right now. Because I have tabbed coaches. We talk about this crap so much. I have tabbed it.
All right.
He's now third high school coach.
So, Coach Abbott,
Kirby, right day, then Cignetti, now right ahead of Lincoln Riley. Yeah.
I get it, but whatever.
Uh,
Let's see. Says, the president of IU, Pamela Whitten, quote, at Indiana, we are committed to the highest levels in everything we do. And no one is like that more than Coach Cignetti. Sig is a winner. My words are now Google it. From last year's college football playoff to this year's top 3 national ranking, the IU football program's success has been tremendous. Once again, Coach Cignetti, a brand new. They didn't even say a revamp. This is a new
deal.
contract, an 8-year deal, 11 points.
Real quick.
Let's do it.
Who do you want to be? I'll be the president of Indiana
Or
or Curt Cignetti.
I want to be Stig. Oh, the agent? I'll be the agent.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
All right, I'm the president of Indiana.
Okay.
All right. Everything's going on right now. So I'm sitting in my office. I'm getting my personal assistant, Woodruff.
Okay.
So, hello, president of Indiana.
Yeah.
Who's this?
This is Kurt's agent.
Kurt's agent. What are you doing? Why are you give me a call? Say hi.
I'm playing golf on my yacht.
I'm just hanging here in the office.
My boy is doing well.
He's doing really well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We love him here in Indiana.
Penn State wants him. Florida wants him. Oklahoma might want him.
We want him too.
NFL might take a look at him.
We want him more than anybody.
How much money you got?
Let me get right back to you. I'm gonna get my toenails clipped. That's really what happened here, right? We know that's the deal. The smoke around Cignetti, the agent's getting the calls. This isn't an agent making up. The calls are coming for Cignetti. So you go to Indiana and say, "You just did," and Indiana says, "Oh, watch this." Now I'll throw this at you, and we'll find this out as it goes. I'm sure Cignetti, before he signed this thing or agreed to it, said, "Okay, we're still a basketball school. A, B, are you giving me my resources to be great? C, what's the rev share going to look like in Indiana? D, wouldn't pay my assistants, and E, I want a Manny Petty or good right? That's where we're going, right?
Basically, I think I have to believe. And look, schools have money. IU has concerns. Maryland, or Washington, or Rutgers with the hat share and the loans and all that. This is a blue blood member of the Big Ten.
Yep.
And quite honestly, in my opinion, from the perspective of being able to upgrade, IU is not going to try to be Ohio State. They're not going to try to be. They're not going to try to be Penn State. They'll upgrade. They'll enhance, but the bulk of the money, in the shorter term at least, because Coach Sig will be 65 next season. Like you said, all right, how am I acquiring the talent? How am I training and developing the talent? Yeah, those are the things. I mean, again, I'm not saying you just slap some paint. You can nicen things up, and you can maybe add a few seats, but the short term is let's get this thing to where we can go compete in Oregon.
In Eugene.
Yeah, let's go try to hang, but because nobody's going to be Ohio State. And you don't need to say let's go be Ohio State. You don't need to do that.
You need to be the Indiana of the last 2 years.
Yeah,
that's what you want to be. Right?
Well, look at what Oregon's doing when Harbaugh was, because Michigan is not what Michigan used to be, right? And Michigan's falling back to where Michigan was. Indiana is emerging. Oregon is emerging. Penn State is trying to figure things out.
Mm-hmm.
But let's face it, if somebody, Michigan or an Oregon, what we need to go match Ohio State. Ohio State will hold my beer.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to try that. You don't need to try that. This is huge.
For Indiana, you say, listen, we want to be what we've been the last 2 years. Are you going to give me the resources that I just laid out for you to keep me in this area permanently? And so let's talk about
getting a $3 or $4 million $15 raise is not that.
It's the other stuff
Yeah.
we just talked
Yeah,
about.
the raise is fine, and
Right.
and you need to do it because that's
Mhm.
what the market bears out these days. But anyway,
But look, for that guy, when he can go to play our football,
Yep.
to stay there, obviously he got some promise.
Yeah. all right,
Second name off the list, pal.
we'll just do yay or nay next time. You have anything for
I
me?
had some stuff.
All
It's
right,
okay. We'll do
this
it.
is breaking.
Hey, you know what? That was fair day. Jay, you up for this? You like
Yeah,
this stuff?
just Jay. Way to go,
There
Indiana.
he goes.
That's a J.
We're done.
Yeah. So,
All
all
right.
right. Headlines of the day coming up for you. Got no book for South for Coach Shula and Coach White. We are live at the beautiful, brand new, officially open U.S. Brick Design Center on UG. Be right AAA Heating and Air is ready to keep you and your family nice and comfortable through these chillier nights from most of now and I don't know, February, maybe into March. It's been a while since you had your heating system checked. Now is a time to call 803 677 1500. One of the great techs from AAA Heating and Air into your home, or attic, out of the basement, or wherever you keep the heat. Make sure that it's good to go. You don't need anything breaking down on any accidents. You don't need any. Oh, I didn't really think about that kind of stuff. Turn the heat on. Right? And if it's time for something brand new, don't forget that Troy and Dana Finley are still keeping you in a great financial situation with no payments or interest for a full year, $1,500 rebate, 15-year parts and labor guarantee. Whether it's quick repair, brand new system, anything in between, 803 1500 Triple Heating and Air.
We have some accidents. I-20 westbound at Monticello Road. That's exit 68. Also, I-26 westbound at hard scrabble north of 26 westbound at St. Andrews Road. That's exit 106. Olympia Avenue at and Piney Grove at Furnace. We'll jump back in 5 o'clock news on Star Buds. Integrated Media is there for U.S. Brick, and the party continues up into the digs when Houston again.
It is 5 o'clock news time on this Thursday. Welcome back in. It's also the final hour of the post-game show alongside Terry Ford. I'm Jay Phillips. Ed Birds at Matthew. Terry and I are beautiful new U.S. Brick Design Center. Grand opening today, attended by City Councilman Pete Brown and many others. Mike Johnson hosting us out here. He'll be with us later on. We start with some Gamecock football news for you. Coordinators speaking as well. Ahead of Saturday's game, Carolina remains a 5.5-point underdog at home to Oklahoma. 3.5 over under, and there's a 5 chance in the game. Terry mentioned it earlier. South Carolina, in terms of the defensive efficiency numbers, one of the top 20 units in the country. They've definitely been doing their overwhelming on offense. Blake White asked about how he makes sure his guys don't lose sight of what they need to do if the offense does pick up some slack.
Really, we always tell our guys yards don't equal points. So obviously yards, you don't want to have those long sustaining drives to get down the line to start with. Very proud of how they kept playing. One of our models put the ball down, and we always say we don't care where the ball is located at. It's next play mentality. And obviously, they put it on display on Saturday. We can't get frustrated with what's going on outside of us. We can't control. So we're on the field. We can't say nothing until somebody gets 0 first downs, 0 touchdowns, and 0 points. Then we can start having an expression of our frustration out. But we can't. There's nothing. It's life. You gotta keep on moving.
Got to keep on moving. South Carolina's defense, again, has been doing their part. What will they look like against John Mateer and that OU offense on Saturday? We shall see. In the meantime, the Gamecock offense does want to get better. And obviously a change made. As most of you know, Lonnie Teasley let go on Sunday morning as the offensive line coach. Sean Elliott rolled into that job for the remainder of the season, potentially beyond. But also, Carolina's begun to run the football better. Mike Shula was asked, especially with potentially a personnel snafu Saturday with Matthew Fuller's exclusion for a bit, with the running back rotation starts to look like second half of the season.
Yeah, I think it's again, flexibility right there. We've talked about having guys that can all play, and as we've learned, as the season's on, these guys got more experience. Whether or not it's experience because he's a young guy like Matt, or experience because he's new in our system with our school, and those guys have gotten better. So, yeah, it's always a fine line. If yes, we talk about going with the hot hand. Matt obviously did a great job and playing well. Rasul is also, if you watch him playing really well too, it's good. So it's a good problem to have, and I think that we'll continue to monitor that. I think you kind of have a little bit of an idea. It's kind of like calling plays. You kind of have a little bit of an idea of what you want to go into the game, but you don't want to necessarily like predetermine it. So I think Coach Buckle does a great job with that, and all those guys are ready to play. They're all playing better.
Terry, I think you and I have agreed, again, based on some of the things Shane said. He was polite about it. We can't have these lapses of not understanding who needs to be where. Certain situations, Shane basically said he got it. I think he mentioned a 2-minute drill where they, as a staff, believe Oscar Attaway does a lot without the football.
Yep.
But, running back, I can think of all the times in my career, I know you can too, when you've asked a running back or a running back's coach about the hot hand. Yep. And when you don't feed that beast, as I like to say, that's a mistake. And I can't say they definitely made one the other night, but there's certainly a lingering feeling of we should have done more with Matt.
Yeah, I mean, look, it does not take away. The Rasul Faison had a really nice game.
Yeah.
But you got a guy that pops a 70-yard touchdown run. I mean, now that guy's got the feels, right? He's ready to go get the rock. He wants to play and carry the football. And for Fuller to go so long before his next touch, that's just, you can't have it. Like my kid would say, that's an epic fail.
Yes.
Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I don't anticipate that mistake being made again. We'll have more on the Gamecocks for you in just a few as part of our Gamecock notebook here on this Thursday. Once again, if you've just gotten in the car, leaving work, or just tuning in to us, mentioned it a few minutes ago, less than an hour old is this news. But the University of Indiana and head football coach Kurt Signetti have announced a brand new 8-year contract. They basically took that old one and they ripped it up.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave him an 8-year deal, average annual salary of $11.6 million. Currently, the Hoosiers are in the top 5 heading into a game with Michigan State, which they are heavily favored to win. Coach Sid was the National Coach of the Year last year by a number of organizations. He was definitely the Big Ten Coach of the Year. They are 17-2 under
Run that through your skull for a minute, my man.
him. One loss last year to Ohio State in the regular season, and one loss to Notre Dame in the playoff. That's it. And the win in Oregon, I think, changed tons of perception. I know I am in that boat.
Yeah, me too.
And then the firing on Sunday of James Franklin, where Kurt Cignetti, again, as someone born and raised in Pennsylvania from Pittsburgh, even though he played at WVU right over the border, he also coached at Pitt. He's coached at a small school at the University of Pennsylvania. Knows the area well from life, and would be a perfect fit for what Penn State needs to kind of come in and really look. Penn State doesn't need that much. It isn't like Penn State's going free and not. They can't win big games, and Kurt has now proven that he can win some pretty big games. So, and again, his experience with Nick Saban is a big deal. But anyway, Kurt Cignetti. So take him off the board. They don't have. This is so new that we don't have buyout details and other things. But let's just call this what it is, Terry. This is his final destination.
Yeah, and here's the thing about Cignetti that we don't like the non-conference schedule. We think that was ridiculous. You ran away from Virginia, and I'm not gonna back off that. I still think it's ridiculous.
It is.
But I will say this about Cignetti: going into Eugene, Oregon, and beating Oregon the way they did was so impressive. So it wasn't a fluky kind of.
No, they were in control, man.
Turnovers. They took the fire
Yeah.
to Oregon for 4 quarters, and that impressed me so much. So to look at Cignetti, what I like about him is that guy walks. He looks at you and says, "I'm a winner. We're going to win." And you go, "How?" I don't know.
Yeah.
But we're going to win. And he's carried himself. Remember his first thing at Indiana? He got on the microphone
Yeah,
at the court at IU.
I win.
You win, dude.
Google me.
You think?
What he said. He said, "I win." Google me.
And remember, it was support my paraphrasing. And it will stop now.
Right.
So with all you know in this arena, Assembly Hall, we're going to win in football. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Have a good day. And so Penn State needs some of that.
Yep.
You've been falling short in big games for years now.
Yep.
You need a guy that walks in and goes, "By the way, Google me.
Right.
I win."
Right.
That's what they need there to get just from the neck up, okay, to get over there.
Yeah.
They're not getting him now. He's gone.
No, he's off
done,
the list. So that almost makes Matt Rule. Yeah, it's Matt Rule. Right?
Well, we're hearing some of that Elko stuff. I don't know if that's agent driven or if that's real.
Well, I think it's real.
But-
I mean,
But how real is my point?
yeah.
How much of this is Mike Elko sitting in his office right now, hoping to get that call from that area code PA, or is this an agent saying, "Mike, would you be interested?" Mike goes, "Yeah, go ahead and talk to him." I mean, Matt Rule wants that job, possibly,
It certainly
Possible.
seems that way. But-
unless Nebraska comes back with a second office and goes to the door and money falls.
Yeah.
Right.
Serious question, real quick. And I know this isn't really part of the news, but since you brought it up, you mentioned their schedule, and we had fun at Indiana's expense with their non-conference. And again, it's a bit much that you cancel the series with Virginia. If you cancel the series with Clemson or Florida State out of the ACC, I might go, okay, you should, you did, but Virginia. Let me ask you this. Here's my question: how long since the Big Ten pushed so hard for the SEC to go to 9? The SEC went to 9 and kept its mandate of one Power 4 non-conference. How long before the Big Ten mandates Power 4 non-conference?
It's coming. Absolutely, it's coming. You have to, right? I mean, you have to. I would think.
I mean, the SEC did it to further solidify what they know is a winning argument on the schedule.
Absolutely. So if you're the Big Ten, you need to push that through. Now, again, this comes to competing. You got the bottom part of the Big Ten does not want that.
Right.
You know, that really slimy exterior of the Big Ten. They don't want to have another game that could be a loss.
Sure that's at the bottom. I didn't say that out loud.
That's a good one. So I mean, there's going to be pushback in the Big Ten not to do it, but you really have to.
Well, here's the
You
thing:
really have to.
about half the league is.
I know that's my point. My point is the Big Ten is so top heavy. It just no matter when we move teams in and out of that, right? Wisconsin was kind of in there, now they're gone. Indiana's kind of jumped in that spot. You got Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan's falling back again. Someone will step up. Usually, you got 3 or 4 teams in the Big Ten that matter.
Yeah.
And everybody else is just kind of that dirty, smelly underbelly of the Big Ten with mold, mildew.
Tony Petitti online.
So I just think that's the Big Ten, right, Jay? That's just who they are.
I think they need to do it though.
But they have to do it,
Yeah.
even though there's going to be fight from 8 of the teams have to do it. They have.
I think, and then Indiana goes back and says, "Hey, Indiana, we didn't mean to." Virginia's like,
Can
"Shut
we
up,
get back together?
shut up."
I was wrong.
All right, there you go, Kurt Cignetti. Once again, if you can't get back with the conversation, Kurt Cignetti and Indiana today, not even an hour ago, y'all, 4:25 was released, reaching a new brand new contract, 8-year contract, averaging $11.6 million per year. More details, I'm certain, will be coming out within the next few minutes or hour or so in terms of buyout. And Terry, to your point, staff raises, other enhancements, and the other support. This isn't just about paying Kurt.
Nope.
This is about keeping him and building what he wants them to do. So, good move for Indiana. Really, really, really
I
impressive.
think they had to. If they want to stay
Oh,
at
sure,
the level,
sure, sure.
they had to.
And,
Right?
and he clearly didn't want to leave.
Let's hit that for a quick second. Then we got to get moving. Hey, true, but there's a, in all seriousness, let's make it work.
Carolina did it with Steve Spurrier.
Yeah.
Steve didn't want to go anywhere. He's like, put a big buyout in there, but I want to make sure my staff gets paid, and
Right.
what else can we do? And let's keep working with the buildings and improvements.
Like you and I talked about. Bill Mallory is the
Right.
winningest coach in Indiana history.
Right.
Bill Mallory, last time I checked, does not have a statue anywhere in Bloomington, Indiana. No. If you're Kurt Cignetti, you put a stamp on this being yours, right? Penn State's not yours. Penn State's Joe Paterno's.
Right.
So if you're Cignetti, I think there's a pull to, and you know what Indiana did for him? They hired him.
Right.
Cignetti,
Yeah.
Cignetti was looked at as, the age and this and that. Yeah, that was James Madison, whatever. Indiana went, screw it, dude. Come on, we're going to give you a shot to do this. So maybe there's part of that in there for Cignetti as well. I don't know.
Thursday night football tonight. The Bengals are hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bengals 2-3. Steelers are 4-1. And now first news for Cincinnati after, of course, losing their best player on offense, Joe Burrow. Now top defensive end Trey Hendrickson is expected to miss tonight's game with a hip injury. It is not official yet that he is out, but it is now an expectation, according to Ben Baby, who covers them, that he is out. Officially listed as questionable for tonight's game. And you and I were talking earlier this morning, and making a move for Joe Flacco in the hopes that they can stay in what is not a great division. Should they fall to 2-4 while Pittsburgh goes to 5-1, that's going to be it. This is as close to a must win at this point in the season as the Bengals can get home.
Yeah, if you want to stay in this, AFC North, look, AFC North has crumbled, except Pittsburgh, right?
And even they haven't looked awesome. Therefore,
For what? They might be the least impressive team in
maybe.
the AFC, not the NFL. So you're going, look, if we can get it together, do a little bit of a heater, and get ourselves back into this thing, we got a chance because again, the AFC North has become just a mosh pit since the start of the season. So, yeah, you're right. Cincinnati's going to get W.
And then real quick here, I know we're up against it, Edward, but Major League Baseball tonight, Brewers and Dodgers leads that one 2-0. Jays and Mariners go at it in the late game. Blue Jays thumped Seattle last night, but the Mariners still lead the ALCS 2-1. 6 o'clock, 8:30 first pitches. Both of those games obviously way out on the left coast. That's our integrated media headlines for the day. The Gamecock Notebook is next as we are live from US
803-875-MENS. We always talk about the Men's Clinic of South Carolina because, look, guys, older, things are sideways. It could just be like this. It could be that simple. That could explain why you're not sleeping like you used to, why you can remember things like you used to, why you have a lack of drive, whether it's living room, bedroom, family room, whatever room. Maybe you're not as strong with your workouts. Maybe you don't back to your workout and you're sore. Oh, call 803 consultation. It's free. It's confidential. Tell the story about your family. If they think it could be low, do some lab work. If it comes back low testosterone, we will give you on a program that is specifically designed for you. Get you be you again. 803-875 to call Men's Clinic South.
It is indeed time to open the Gamecock Notebook here on this Thursday. Welcome back in. Alongside Terry Ford, I'm Jay Phillips. Once again, we are at the brand new US Brick Design Center on UG Street. It is the really only place like this in the city. I'm going to tell you, great stuff in here. If you're looking to build a new home, or if great features in the back, fire features, retaining walls, privacy walls, things like that. They can get it done for you. Builders, architects, designers. You come in, they got workspace. You don't just come in and like look around. They you can seriously you bring your architectural plan, bring a lot of these things into the design. They've got plenty of space for you, and it's also very convenient. They're open 9 to 5, but if you can't get in here when they're here, you can call them and they'll work with you. So,
Well, then call
great,
you.
great
You know
people.
everybody.
You know?
And that way,
It's
set up an appointment. They can just call you, and you can call them.
555. Pay me now.
867-5309.
That's my number.
Mhm.
That's it. Let's get back into some sound for you. But again, thanks to Mikey Johnson and the crew here at US Brick for having us out today. And congratulations. We were here for their official grand opening. They really won this.
I know. That's crazy. Maybe with you here. How about this?
Let's get back into it. Cut number on today's list, please, Ed Bird. Cut number 8. We talked a lot this week about what it is that Brent Venables likes to do defensively in an effort to keep you off balance. Here is Mike Shula on how South Carolina tries to counter the OUD.
Yeah, and they're, as I said in the past, they're no different than any other position. Yeah, I mean, one of the things we can all do better is just stay out of the negative plays and the long yardage situations. Make everybody look better, whether or not you're an offensive lineman, quarterback, or receiver, or back. And but yeah, collectively, to the points you bring up, sometimes it's technique, sometimes it's communication, sometimes it's timing. Okay, and that's not just saying hey, the players got to do this. No, it's all of us doing that together. So, and yet doing it in a way where you're not panicking or overreacting, and just doing something, changing things just because you feel like you have to. Right there, if you look at it, just that far over. So there's a lot of that. I know that doesn't look like that, but as coaches and as players, I see it, and that's what kind of drives us to get to be on the plus side of those differences.
Havoc plays. You know, I feel again. I don't know that havoc is the we look at as in that just amazing, not so great stat, almost a dubious statistic of Lenoris with the ball covering 894 yards on the ground while gaining only 19 positive yards. And again, as you pointed out, let's give him his due. He gained, seriously, Terry, he gained 60-something positive yards. And because the sack yards come off, again, is dumb, but that's not what we're here for. But havoc plays. Does Brent Venables smell any kind of blood in the water after seeing something like that last week in terms of, hey, just get him to go run around and we'll find a way to cover it up?
That could be. And I'll give you something to put in your back pocket. I thought, remember the Vanderbilt game? South Carolina's driving, get that second touchdown. Vanderbilt pulls the old Pittsburgh Steelers zone blitz, and they drop the defensive tackle / nose tackle back in coverage. Lenoris doesn't see it, throws a pick. How many times do you think we're going to see that this Saturday with Brent Venables?
Yeah, I would think you and
you watch that tape?
Right, and that comes back to our point of earlier in the week of he wants to funnel you into your mistake. Like you won't even recognize it. You're in the weird wide part of the funnel and you feel great. And then all of a sudden there you went and there's his guy. And that's who
to your point about last week's tape. Here's the thing with LSU that made everything so difficult. And Sellers still averaged like 4.5 yards a carry. It wasn't like totally bottled up. But here's the thing. LSU had fast linebackers, guys who could, cover ground, guys who could maybe get that angle on Lenoris where most teams don't have those type of fast linebackers. And that's in Oklahoma, they're athletic guys too. Are they going to be able to do what LSU's linebackers can do? Harold Perkins was the best run defender on the field. Perkins was that's really his strength now in his 7th year of college.
It feels like it. Only 3.
Is Perkins plays the run better than anybody on the LSU defense. And Perkins was everywhere. The 15 Weeks brothers that played linebacker, they're very athletic guys. So Oklahoma, they're athletic too. But if they can reach that level of athleticism and cutting angles like LSU could, same thing could happen this Saturday, Jay. But if they can't, guess what? 16 is going to get a step on you, and then you cut the field and go with things happen. We'll
Uh,
see.
And cut number 17 next, we'll go to Clayton White. And even though this is a defensive coach, Clayton was actually asked what his side of the ball during the week can do to help the offensive line with some of their issues.
Well, our job as a defense is just to handle what we can handle. Coach Elliott did come up to us one day and told me to do a couple of things to try to help the O-line, just to distract him a little bit. But that's just coaching tactics. It's kind of how we work together as a staff. But whatever the offensive coaches need from us, we're willing to help, or also vice versa too. So I ask them a lot when we need some things, and we collab pretty easy. So it's a great staff to work with.
See, what would be great? Right? It's like yesterday in practice, out of nowhere. So the defensive line just starts doing things verbally, physically, that they've
Right.
never done, and just scares the absolute what out of like, where the hell did this come from?
What are we doing?
Like, what happened? It just happened into some kind of new mental state.
Crazy, weird,
know?
whacked out off the
Like,
wall.
would-
we've never done it
Would
before.
that be
Practice stuff.
that be the show part of it all?
Yeah,
No,
that would what though. We're having fun with it. Maybe that's what you need to do. You need to get in there and just do something totally wacky off the wall and take everybody out of this regular regiment and just. I mean, maybe it relaxes you. Maybe it shakes you up a little bit in a good way. Maybe something goober like that is what you need to do.
Yeah.
Every now and then, off the wall stuff works. Right? This is such a regimented sport.
I get a little curveball here and there. I mean,
I think that'd be
maybe
good.
they can benefit from something like that.
It'll be
Just
fun for
just
today.
a reset.
I know you're one day tonight. You'll be a couple guys today. Clayton's he's gonna coach the offensive line and Sean's gonna coach the defensive line. And just do something just crazy off the wall stuff, just for a few minutes, just to get them out of that what they're eating.
You know who would love that?
Oh God, wouldn't it? Love it. Yes. Absolute wheelhouse.
That would be
Yes,
that
sir.
would be man. I think Brian Shoemaker would be like, why'd this server break?
Clark and West, we haven't been asleep for 2 days.
One more here. Quick. Cut number 14, please. Clayton White asked, what did Texas's defense do to make Oklahoma so unhappy?
We feel like when you're watching that caliber of ball, that's high level football between Oklahoma and Texas, you're going to see some really good things on tape. You got a big system if you think it fits. But it's always fun to watch the game because it's a lot of big time players. And so obviously we take things from some things that hurt them, things that where they hurt Texas, make sure we're not catching ourselves in those situations. And obviously we watch our game from last year and the previous games, but it's part of the process, but it's not everything.
Look, you can take certain things from it. Obviously, you and I had Cale Gundy on, the former Oklahoma quarterback. He's now a radio host in Norman in Oklahoma City. And you asked him, and he reiterated it a couple of times. The $1 million question he said was, what was wrong with John Mateer?
Mhm.
Was it he was not ready physically? Was it the thumb and the surgery, and maybe he got rushed once things got going? Was it that Texas is that good defensively? I really kind of lean toward the latter with some of the former. I don't know that we're giving. I think right now it's like, wow, Texas isn't that good. Well, I think they are.
By the way, real quick, you know who's number one defensive efficiency in America?
It's Texas. I mean, the Texas defense is fantastic. So I think it's that as much as anything else. So how you can find a way to wreak some havoc with Mateer will be big. That's our Gamecock Notebook here on this Thursday afternoon. We are live at the brand new Design Center, US Brick, UG Street. Come by, stay in, grab a slice, grab some food, see what they've got for you for all of your home building needs and enhancement needs. The drive around the SEC is next.
You just heard it. That's where we're going to be tomorrow. We're going to be hanging out at Kreger Showrooms, formerly the Nest, on Gadsden in the Vista. We'll be there Friday, Tuesday show. We have Savage Craft supplying the beverages, also cooking on the Coyote grills. It is going to be a good time. Food, good stuff to drink. We'll be hanging out for the show 3 to 6. We'll have tickets for South Carolina, Oklahoma to give away as well. At Showrooms, all 4 of those. Look, take a little walk in after you've had a beverage. The best showroom in the Midlands. If you're looking for appliances, you're looking for bath, you want a tub, you want fixtures, plumbing. There is no better place than Kreger Showrooms. Again, we'll be there tomorrow 3 to 6. Stop in, grab eat something, and then go check out all the great things they have to offer at Kreger Showrooms. If you call them, set up an appointment, talk to them about whatever you're looking for at 803-978-2025, 803-978-2025. We got some accidents. Clemson Road at Sparkleberry Lane. I-26 westbound at St. Andrews, exit 106. Olympian Avenue and Virginia Street, right near Bluff Road. The accident has been cleared at I-26 westbound at US 21 and US 176 at 119. That accident has been cleared. We'll come back. Drive around the SEC is next. Live from US Brick post-game show. Jay and Terry. And I've lost Jeannie and Leslie and
About 150 people.
some guy playing cornhole with Rachel and I. We all sorts of stuff going on here on the game.
Yeah, there's some guy playing cornhole is the owner's son, but that's
Is that who it is?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
he's a good kid.
Is he a good kid?
Yeah,
All right. All those playing games.
you know who I'm serious. You know who he's tight with, and I'm dead serious.
Who?
Tight.
Really?
Yeah. Serious. You want to go on? You're like, hey, you think about Causey Johnson, you're like, oh my God.
Ah, you've taken him with.
Maybe once you get me, he's got probably a labor law thing.
You think
Yeah, they're fish sticklers for that stuff.
they have some rules there? New York has some laws.
Again, back in the day, not as much.
Yeah, they're a little bit more buttoned up now.
These days, they got laws out there.
As yeah, I mean, if it was Florida, there are no rules. Probably wouldn't be a problem. New York, you're right. New York's got a lot built up here in about the last 10, 15.
Jersey,
Yeah,
again, Jersey, everything's legal as long as you don't.
right.
That's
I've told you that the people from Philadelphia and New York, anything that goes bad in Philadelphia and New York, they blame Jersey.
Sure.
It's Jersey.
Jersey's like, we get it.
They don't push
Yeah,
back.
they're not like, hey, don't put that on us. They're like, yeah.
That's good.
What else
That's who
you
we
got?
are, man.
Yeah.
This is what we're about.
Jersey's like American islands. They don't ask any questions.
It's
What you
Jersey,
got?
man. It's
What you got?
Jersey.
You're all
The
good.
funniest thing about Jersey, real quick, we'll move on to your driver on the SEC. You have you ever in Jersey?
No.
You're not allowed to pump your own gas.
Oh, I knew that.
in Jersey.
I knew that, but I never have.
It's weird the first time it happens to you when you don't know it.
Yeah.
Now, first time I go with driving and I didn't know this law, I got out of the car, man. He goes, no. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Right.
I want to pump gas. You can't do that. I'm like, why? It's New Jersey. I go, what's that mean? He told me it's against you're against the law. You can't do it. I'm like, okay, cool.
I don't even know if there is a full service gas station left in South Carolina. I remember as a kid. Is there? Like, oh yeah, Carlton's over here. Okay, there may be one. But like when I was a kid,
Yeah, they're everywhere, man. Do
You
the
know,
windshield.
yeah,
check
they
the
got
oil.
oil and all that, and it cost more. And I remember as soon as I started getting gas, I was like, wow, for me, I can wash my own daggone windshield.
Because remember, it was self-serve and full serve.
Yeah.
Full serve was different price than self-serve.
But like my grandmother never got out of the car.
This
Man.
is full serve. That's right.
So, anyway, all right, driving around the SEC time here. Again, if you haven't heard us talk about it, 8 conference games, historic weekend, never been done before in the history of the SEC. LSU remains an underdog at Vanderbilt. I think I saw the stat, Terry, that Vanderbilt has played 77. This will be their 78. I think this is right. They played 77 times against a top 10 team in their history. This was the first time that they have been a favorite
Wow.
in their history. I guess
Think about that for a minute.
and that's in the poll era. So going back to the mid-30s. 77 times they played a top 10 team. 78 time they will be the favorite.
And look, the only time in our life they've really been good was with Franklin. And they were
DiNardo had that flash of okayness that got him the LSU job, but it wasn't as good as Franklin.
Oh no! And then how good Franklin was for those 2 years, and his teams were never favored against the top 10 team. Clark,
Yeah. Now, does Clark Lee get more run in some of these openings here
Maybe.
soon?
because
I think he certainly should. But does Vandy now? Here's the thing about Clark Lee. Clark Lee, born in Nashville, Tennessee.
played
Clark Lee finished school at Vanderbilt University.
Mhm.
So, and Vandy, like Mizzou, is spending a lot of money on facilities, enhancements, improvements. Nashville, fine town to live in.
Yeah.
Clark's doing real well.
Yep.
But I wonder where his football itch is. I mean, and do you see a ceiling? I think a lot's going to depend on what Vandy looks like down the stretch here in terms of determining where I could fix it, where I could massage it, relative to where I might be certain that I've got what I need. You don't want to see Vandy slip back into that long period of
The doormat you wipe your feet on in the middle of the school.
Well, I remember for years, it was almost like they had to get pushed into really spending money. Now they are. Give them full credit. They are, but you don't want to see them lapse back into, hey, we spent some money. Because if you're going to do it, you got to.
And that's really, if you're Clark Lee, what this would do for you is what it did for Coach Sig If you just cranked on the radio or someone on a device somewhere. Kurt Signetti.
Kurt Signetti, if you haven't heard, yes,
is
they ripped up his contract at Indiana, signed a brand new 8-year deal with an average salary of
third
as
highest in
we
the
speak.
country.
That will next year. Maybe, of course, somebody else will jump in.
Oh, I have 10 will. Because Signetti basically took the Penn State whispers and rumors and leveraged it with Indiana, not just for the contract,
Yeah, not just for the money.
but for guarantees in rev share and
Yeah.
resources
Yeah.
and spending money on football and spending money on infrastructure
Yeah.
and spending money on assistance
Yeah.
and all these things you need. And if I'm Clark Lee and Vanderbilt doesn't do what it did last year and kind of remember it hit the skids at the end of the year. If you're Clark Lee and you walk out with a 7 or 8 win season, let's just go that route, and you're getting sniffed around by other programs, and just walk in and go, look, I'm from here. I played here. I don't want to go anywhere, but I need guarantees. All the really rich folks that went to this university are going to keep giving money. You're going to keep investing money. And all those things that you've never done that you're doing, you can't stop. Don't you have that conversation?
I think you do, because I think at Vandy, one of the things that has also been one of the running gags is how many visiting enjoy it as a weekend, and even the suites, like it'll be a place for the that crowd in Nashville to when Bama comes. Oh, I want to go to the Bama Vandy game, get a suite or whatever, and you need to make it a Vanderbilt game, not a SEC game where Vanderbilt is also participating with the visitors.
Exactly.
And those are the kind of things. It's not overnight that you can do something like that, but yeah, with this Coach Sig news, because one of the names we haven't really mentioned a whole lot that should be on some of these top boards is Clark Lee, but maybe there's a reason for that.
Let's take away the like that top level of job. It's going to be available like Penn State or whatever.
Penn State, Florida Open.
I'm going to throw out a name, and I'm throwing out something, not saying anything connection. Let's say UCLA.
Right.
UCLA is not going to get a big name guy. UCLA, let's say, we're going to change their entire philosophy of who they are in football. A guy like Lee, might
I
the way
think
it's
they're
going.
gonna. I mean,
Let's just say they don't. Clark Lee, you would maybe go talk to a Clark Lee, someone on that second tier, or like Kia Georgia Tech, who I don't think would leave either. But let's just say that's the route you might go because you're not going to get a big dog. It's not because you don't do what's necessary to get a big dog.
well, and you'll never have at UCLA, a true home field advantage. I mean, the Rose Bowl is like 10 miles from Kansas, and look, it's an historic stadium, and
Sure.
you can always sell a kid and his parents on look where you get to play your home games,
In front of 22,000.
and then you realize, well, campus is way over there in Westwood, and the Rose Bowl's in Pasadena. Like, why, and it takes an hour to get there, and I don't think it's fun, and so and UCLA has never, Southern California too. To be fair, like they're not gonna bust. I think UCLA. That's an interesting gig.
I'm just kind of giving the
Yeah,
idea. That's the kind of level that maybe
But
we'll look at.
I wonder now if Clark Lee finds his way up here. We haven't been
Maybe he
talking
will.
about him enough. But anyway, Vanderbilt for the first time over a top 10 team in their history. That one kicks at noon Eastern on Saturday. You like Vandy to win that game, sir? I kind of think LSU's going
I do too. I'll be honest. Look,
to. Maybe I shouldn't.
I think LSU's defense is going to smother them, and they're going to be Pavia. And Andy has to play a certain way, right?
Right.
I think LSU will take them out of the way they play. Ugly slobber knob.
That's our drive around the SEC, brought to you by Herndon Chevy. Lots more to do from the brand new US Brick Design Center on UG Street. All right, welcome back in. Final few minutes of the post-game show here on this Thursday. Jay and Terry with you, and joined by the man in charge of all of this U.S. Brick. His name is Causey Johnson, and his dad is here. Mikey. No, but thank you, Mikey, for having us out. Congratulations, a beautiful center, but more importantly, another huge addition to the Midlands in terms of business, which I know is very near and dear to your heart.
Yeah, thanks, Jay. We love being in Columbia. We love being a part of the South Carolina business fabric. We do in South Carolina. Business is special, and the network is close. And so I love it that my children get to hear about U.S. Brick on 107.5 The Game. Like, when they dressed up for Halloween, dressed up as the CEO of Brick. They probably would be better at it than I would do. But we just love the community and excited to be out off the Notch Road making bricks and making real things these days. So we just we appreciate them.
I never did find the stone in the amazing outdoor fireplace in the state like South Carolina. So before I get over there, Aussie, yes, you do. Okay. Now, I want to talk business with Mike, but I'm going to talk Gamecocks with Aussie because people don't realize this, but it's true. You are tight. You are buds with Coach Dawn, right? And you have been for a while.
Yes, sir.
Now, how awesome for you at your age is Coach Dawn when you're around?
I mean, she's amazing. You think that she yells on the court? She's nothing like that when you get to meet her. She's amazing. I mean,
How much advice does she like to give? How much advice does she give without like even trying? And you're like, man, that was something I can remember.
um, and
Tells you to work hard.
Yeah. And you get to be around her a lot. Now, what you need to start doing is picking up little bits of wisdom. You take them home to your dad and see what he does to implement those.
How about the intro you did for at our meeting?
So I did a meeting for the YPO group up in, I want to say,
Lexington, Kentucky. Yep.
Kentucky. And I just introduced her, and everybody laughed. My dad told me that all their favorite video is mine, and
Nice.
I said,
Nice.
I just laughed and I said, I guess so.
Well, she doesn't anymore, but Coach Dawn used to live right near us. My girls used to say, Coach Dawn's the best because at Halloween she goes out full-size candy. So try to go to Coach Dawn's house and get some full-size
guess
candy.
so.
Bars. Yeah. But she's fun, and you love going to her games, right?
Mm-hmm.
She did invite him up to come over and check out her decorations this coming week. And, he does have a birthday coming up. Birthday at the end of this month on the 26th. And he might have something coming tied to the women's basketball team, but we don't know just yet. So.
All right. Well, hey, happy birthday. Mine's
Thank
on
you.
Monday. So we have October birthdays. That's good stuff. Well, in all seriousness, congratulations on this. And I've known you long enough and certainly know your business reputation to know that this just probably isn't it in terms of the Mikey Johnson growth of Midland's businesses, right?
But we got a great team. I hope everybody will come down to 300 UG and see, Abby and Sarah and Robert and Louie and Trevor and Brittany and all the team that makes this happen. And look, I love the team. I love being a part of it. I know they might cringe when I come in some days, but I appreciate they let me keep coming back day after day. And look, I love that we actually make something and we get the chance to have 300 some odd fantastic people that every day across our company platform. And I just love that. And I love they're part of our family. And this was a fun event. Thank you for being here.
Well,
today.
we thank you for having us and really not just for today, obviously, but you guys have now become a part of our family. And so what I need now, I'm only halfway through. I need something in Brick that we can wheel in and like have the backdrop of the new studio. Yeah. So we'll design. That's what we do here, right? We'll figure something out. Put some real U.S. brick in the studio. So.
I see Sarah grinning. I think she already has a game plan for that.
And Causey, I want your help on that. Maybe we'll put some Gamecock stuff.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see what we can do. We can find a way to get some real U.S. brick in the studio because we got a whole new video thing going on too. So my wheels are spinning up there.
We like it. We
yeah.
like it. Go Cox.
Mikey,
Go, let
thank
us
you,
know
buddy.
about the
Appreciate it.
game. Thank you,
Causey,
sir.
good to see you. Happy birthday next
Thank
week.
you.
Yeah, and tell Coach he said, hey, we love Coach too. All right, y'all, that's going to do it for us here on a Thursday. Again, thanks to everybody out here. Congratulations. Good to see Councilman Brown out here. Way to handle those oversized scissors, man.
No
Thank you.
fingers.
How fun was that? Yeah, I need to use those for something. But we had a great time out here at US Brick on this Thursday. Thanks to our guests, Cale Gundy and Lulu Ketson, for joining us as well. Ed Bird, thank you. Back to Master Control. For Terry, I'm Jay. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Coach Beaver coming up. Carolina calls at 7 o'clock. Thursday Night Football after that. And we will see y'all tomorrow. So long. And while I am here, I am going to finish up with a US Brick spot for you. Listen, they've got this beautiful fireplace. It's absolutely amazing. And my wife is here. I really would kind of like one of those. I can't really surprise her to tell her that because she's standing right there. But, that thing's amazing.
Yeah, that Boyle Masonry did a phenomenal job on that. That herringbone in the back is every Brick Mason's dream to do that work right there. It's we look forward to having some fires from baseball season.
There'll be some parties over here before going over to Founders. Yeah,
Stop in. Yeah.
stop in. So again, they got that going for you. Again, see all these states in South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, Indiana, and if what they can do for you, bring your contractor, bring your architectural stuff, work in here, 300 G Street. Check out this beautiful center with US